Hello and welcome to Confetti Chat. My name's James from James Douglas Films, but most people call me Doug. This is Frankie from Pink Photographics, and nobody calls her Pink yet. Today we are going to be talking about floristry, and we've got our friend and colleague Lucy from Bennington Blooms to chat to us and hopefully fill in the massive gaps in my knowledge to do with wedding floristry. I was not at all responsible for the the flowers at my own wedding, so I don't know anything about it at all. From the perspective of a couple who have booked a wedding, I feel like at the very baseline, most brides would go for a bouquet.
Yes, you're right.
A bouquet first. Yep. So this is the.
Do you say bouquet or bouquet?
It depends who you're speaking to. Different people pronounce it differently, but I say bouquet.
Okay.
But I'm from Nottingham, so.
I don't know what I say. Bouquet. I think.
You're a bouquet. I'm a bouquet, I think.
Yeah, bouquet.
I don't know. No,
now it's not making any sense. That word. Sorry. I've lost. Yeah.
Okay, we can call it bouquet if you want, whichever.
Oh,
okay.
Bouquet. That's what I say. Bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely going to be having one of those. I can't think of a wedding I filmed where the bride didn't have a bouquet. I think, but past that, I've seen bridesmaids with, I've seen bridesmaids without, I've seen table decorations, I've seen
buttonholes.
Buttonholes, of course. Yeah, I had buttonhole at my wedding. I know about that one. But after that, I'm stuck. I don't know what are the other options. What do people go for?
It's really personal choice. You're quite right. Your bouquet is your starting point. Venues give you a different feel to the look. Your bouquet starts the look, and then the girls usually mirror the bridal bouquet. I always say that the bride and the groom are like the A-listers, and bridesmaids are B-listers. So they get the special, and the bridesmaids have slightly less. And then tends to be that you'll go onto the table decorations and centerpieces that all complement the bridesmaid bouquets. But things like archways, there's all sorts of different things that are coming in now, and making big features is what's quite on trend at the moment. And using and reusing. So if you can use them in a ceremony, but you can also then use them through into behind your top table in the evening, it's a fantastic way to spend your money and get a massive impact for it.
So, obviously, flowers are seasonal. I in my head, I can look out. I can look outside and see certain times of the year, certain flowers are seasonal. Does that have a huge impact on the decision making if you're going for a winter wedding, a summer wedding? Does that have a huge impact?
It has more of an impact on the price and how you can order. So we can get peonies all year round. There's exactly.
You know they're my
Every
favourite.
bride loves a peony.
I love them.
But you can get them all year round. But when they're out of season, it's a lot more expensive to buy them because you have to buy them and have them shipped in.
Okay.
So yes and no. So if you're having a lot of flowers, usually there's not many limitations on the time of year.
But there is a cost implication.
Cost implications, unfortunately. If you want something specific at a certain time of year, unfortunately, you have to pay for it.
Sunflowers on Christmas Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not easy.
That well-known Christmas sunflower.
You can probably still get them bizarrely, but yes,
Okay.
you're spot on right. Yeah, at the time of year you're looking at it, you get better value if you choose something that's in season.
Often I've seen flowers at weddings that are really complementary to the season, like sunflowers in the summer.
Yep.
I remember thinking, oh, that's a really autumnal-looking bouquet. Had some thistles and a very dark kind of Albany browns and oranges in the bouquet. Is that something that you see people do more of? Is that is that a starting point, or is that just the ones I've filmed I've noticed?
No, I think you're spot on right. A lot of people are led by the season that they're getting married and have chosen the season to get married because it matches their personality. So a lot of people in an autumn wedding will go for the autumnal colours. Makes it great.
What's your favourite style of bouquet?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Look at me, straight in with the hard-hitting questions. I feel like I've peaked now.
I love anything that's full of flowers and textures. So it's really hard to say what my favourite would be. But if you can imagine a really girly, full-on peony.
Hang on, I think I can.
Yeah, and that would probably be my ideal. But then saying that, I quite like working with sunflowers and different things. So it would be very, very difficult for me to get married and decide what my look was.
Yeah.
Thinking about the practicality of the flowers, obviously they're normally very colourful.
Yep.
Often weddings have very much a colour palette for the whole day.
Yep.
They'll have bridesmaids dresses that are certain shades.
Yep.
Do you advise with that in mind? When they come to you, have they already picked the bridesmaids dresses, or mainly, I mean, can you say to them, well, if you're having sage green dresses, this will look really nice against it?
Again, different brides, different couples have different ways of doing things. Some brides will come in, they've got everything sorted and they'll show you a picture and want that recreating. Other brides, or couples should I say, will want to recreate their own look and their own feel, so we'll build something together. And with flowers, if you go for orange or pink, there's not really a difference, so we'll create a look and then we'll tweak colours nearer the time. So if they haven't got a bridesmaid's dress, we can tweak it nearer to the time.
So you kind of go, this is the sort of thing we're looking at, but we're going to swap some things out to make it match up, so it all just...
Because you can never 100% guarantee your colours are going to match, can't you? Because flowers are flowers, they're going to do what they want to do.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it is. It's about learning and sort of matching things. And so people with COVID changed the time of year of getting married, wanted the nice light pink summer colours, but we bought some burgundies in because they were getting married later into the year. So it's brilliant. We can do anything with flowers.
Oh, that's clever.
Do you enjoy being able to be like creative with the flowers?
Yes, I have some crazy friends that like to do crazy photo shoots.
Hello.
And we can have some real fun. But yeah, I do. I like to get to know my couples and really get a sense of who they are. And it's brilliant because you can get things that match and create and feel that. Some people want to keep it very delicate and very dainty, and other people want it right out there, and there's amazing flowers out there that you can do that with.
On average, what would you say would be like the average package of flowers for you? Like, is it just a simple bouquet, buttonholes, or is it a bigger?
Most people will have more than, so you would tend to find that an average wedding would probably have about 60 to 70 guests, so probably about 7 or 8 table centres, and then a top table arrangement as well that you use on your registrar table or in the church, and then pick that up and put it onto your top table as well and get extra value from that piece. But yeah, that would probably be it, and then you've probably got about 4 bridesmaids, a bridal bouquet, buttonholes.
Who has the buttonholes?
Oh,
this is a controversial thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. So
it seems to be like absolutely everybody or nobody.
Well, years ago, everybody used to have a buttonhole, and it was a carnation wrapped in a bit of tinfoil with a bit of fern with it. Real classy. Can you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Now it tends to be that I would say, if you sit on the top table, or you walk down the aisle, that's usually most people would have them for those people. But some people will just have one for the groom, actually none even for the groom, and then some people will still have 100 for all of their guests. It's very, very
I like
personal.
The buttonholes. I like the buttonholes as an indicator as to who's important.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think now people are sort of like, if it's at the top table or it's your mum or your dad, they deserve those flowers. And particularly a mother of the bride, she definitely is up there.
Isn't there like a particular way that they're supposed to be? Like traditionally, isn't it meant to be like upside down or something?
Traditionally, I'm pretty sure is that men was on the left facing upwards, women was on the right facing downwards.
Yeah,
I don't see that very often now.
I don't feel the love for the downwards flowers.
I don't sort of like that as much because it just doesn't look the same.
I feel like it's just sort of slipped.
Yeah, well, that could be part of the reason why it is a tradition.
Maybe,
the thin dress has made it fall, but no, that was tradition. But most people will wear them facing up now.
Yeah.
Or a wrist corsage. That's another thing that mums can do.
My bridesmaids had those.
Yeah. So there's lots you can do.
With the buttonholes fixings.
Yes.
I've done a lot of this, as I get asked, because most men who are wearing buttonholes at the age they're getting married probably haven't done too much buttonhole wearing. They've probably not had the experience.
On average button day wearing.
Yeah, we don't do that on a regular basis.
No, so obviously they're pretty clueless. And I've come up against, really convenient magnet ones.
Yes.
Oh, they're so quick.
Yep.
Yes.
They're good.
Yep.
And then,
if the magnets are strong enough for the amount of flowers, though.
Yeah. And you get the obviously the pin ones, which
Savage.
So they can hurt. Now, maybe you can help clear this up, because some people will go through the material and then basically have the stem the other side of the pin, so the pin kind of locks it in. Some people go, no, go straight through the stems. What's the better?
So I tend to make all my buttonholes on a clip. So it's sort of a plastic T-shape, and you put it on like a birthday badge. Because I think the grooms on the morning of the wedding, they are usually fingers and thumbs. Yes. They are quite jittery. Poor guys tend to have a rougher deal, in my opinion, because the girls are busy getting ready and the guys are sort of waiting. Yeah. So it helps, and it means as well that you can leave them in water. So if you've got a particularly hot day, you can leave them in a little tub of water, and that helps. And then if you've got a lady who's got a delicate jacket, then it would be a magnet. So I tend to say, just put them on like a birthday badge, dead easy.
Clever.
That's better. Those ones, please, more of those.
It's a new thing. We used to take buttonholes and take all the stalk off and wire each stem, and then, like you say, you'd pin through. Yeah. But what happens is, and it's a nightmare. So keep them upright.
And when they put them on, the amount of times I've had to reposition because they put them on really high up.
Yes,
and then they're in the nose, tickling their faces.
I think it's because they're called buttonholes,
and
the holes for the buttons are always really high.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that actually puts them in buttonholes anymore. You tend to put them on like a lapel, don't you?
I've seen it.
I've seen people try.
I've had to take it out and put them down.
Yeah, rather than in the nose.
Yes. It's just all day, tickling their face.
Yeah, but that's what I do with buttonholes.
Oh my God. No, I think we should, from now on, we should have them all really high.
Just start a new trend.
We could do a shoulder pad, lapel buttonholes. No, that is a new thing. We can start that off.
Epaulettes.
Basically.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like floral epaulettes.
I would wear them.
That would look amazing.
I would 100% wear them.
The thing is, I actually know you would.
Yeah. Oh my God, right.
Okay, we're going to do that.
We're doing it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, this is a new trend, guys.
Copyrighted. This is our idea.
Floral epaulettes.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Couples that are planning a wedding, they've obviously the flower thing. I think it would be really unusual for people to not have any flowers at all. I think there's always going to be some.
Yep.
At the most basic end, just a bouquet that they pick up from a petrol station on the way. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You know,
you can do that.
You could probably do that, and you would.
Bit of gyp.
You know, peel
carnation.
Peel off the sticker.
I would say taking the sticker
off the plastic, and get that little sachet.
A bit of ribbon or something.
What's the sachet of like flower food?
No, don't use that. Get rid of that.
We're
going classy.
That would be at kind of the one end, and then at the other end.
Yeah.
Arches I've seen at ceremony spaces, like I shot a beautiful outdoor wedding with a massive flower arch, and the florists were there early in the day getting that. But they were there well before I got there, just assembling that, and then table decorations. Do the couples come to you with ideas, or do you go, these are all your options, or how would you lead that conversation?
I think we build together. I don't think there's a right and a wrong, because what works for one person doesn't work for the next. It's bringing out personalities and likes and dislikes. So we sort of evolve it together.
Okay. How long does that process take, from start to finish, of like getting the ideal thing?
I see my couples originally when they sort of come for original meetings, so we get through and get a price point together,
right?
And then we meet up about 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding, and that's when we finalise the details, but we'll talk in between. So you're probably looking at about 2 or 3 hours of actual creating the look, if that makes sense. And we can use mood boards and photographs and Pinterest and all the rest of it to help guide, but it's nice with most of my couples. They sort of give me free range, within reason. Within reason. They'll sort of say, this is what I like, I don't like this about that, and so they'll leave me to create. So everybody gets a nice special surprise the morning of the wedding.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
It's the best part of the job. Is
delivering the flowers.
Absolutely, yeah.
I am always, when I am booked to do prep, which is most of the weddings, I'm always keen to make sure I can film the reaction to the flowers. It's such a great, it's a great shot for me.
I would say that 90% of people have a tear shed at that stage. If it's not the bride, it will be the mum or dad. So I like to get there early.
Yes, before the makeup.
Before the makeup, so they can redo it in time.
Yeah,
It's a special moment.
That is a good
Yeah.
moment. It's one of
Very special moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes that's I can see why that's the fun bit of your
Yeah.
job. I mean, obviously the fun being creative as well is.
Yeah.
To be honest, all of it's fun, but yeah, it gets stressful at times. But yeah, the nicest, most rewarding bit is that smile, that emotion on the day, because I think that's what flowers bring. They bring a different level. They bring the emotion.
Especially if they've chosen flowers that mean something to them.
Absolutely.
So it could be like, I don't know, like their nana had these
Yeah.
flowers at whatever, you know, it's a personal choice.
Absolutely. If you've got, roses you can get in so many different names, and you can choose them because of the name of them, and that represents somebody special. They know it in the bouquet, but not everybody else does.
Yeah,
So
it's like a little personal secret,
absolutely,
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like a little link to people.
Absolutely, it's great.
Yeah.
I've just had a thought, and now being quite a practical person, I love my practical questions.
I do, because these are the type of things that I don't ever think of.
Practical?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, the practical things. Do you have any like issues with like allergies and things like that? Is there any issues with like certain people being allergic to certain flowers? I'm just thinking I know somebody that is allergic to lavender. So
Yeah.
I'm allergic to lilies.
Are you?
Absolutely, the worst migraines ever. And they're my mum's favourite flowers.
Yeah.
So every time I go around to her house, she has to put them out in the porch. It's either me that sits in the porch or the flowers. So, sometimes my mum chooses.
Is this something that gets brought up with you?
Yeah, not as often as I would have thought, but it's actually quite good. So I've worked with a few people who've come to me for artificial flowers for their bouquet to try and stop that reaction. But we've worked together to find flowers that don't give you a reaction. So like a lot of flowers that usually, like lilies, it's the pollen.
Yeah, it's the stamens in the middle, isn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and lilies don't get used very often for wedding flowers, so I would certainly try and stay away from that. But a lot of the flowers for weddings are grown and for the colours. And so there's very rarely pollen. So there's a lot of flowers that we use that don't cause any reaction with allergies. And if you've got a good florist you're working with, you can practice with those flowers and when we've got them in beforehand to make sure that you don't have any reaction, because nobody wants a bride crying for the wrong reason on their wedding day.
And even if they chose a flower that they absolutely love, but they did have a reaction to, then obviously you would then be like, oh, okay, you can't have this, but here's an alternative.
Absolutely, and the worst case scenario has ever been where somebody wanted snowdrops in their bouquet, and it was very hit and miss whether we'd get them because of the time of the year, but we just popped an artificial few in with fresh flowers.
Oh, nice.
And you couldn't really tell, and they basically got what they wanted. So everything's possible. Oh, nice. I like a challenge.
The substituting artificial flowers, that's really cunning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great.
Sometimes you have to. That was the only time I've ever done it, but when you
absolutely
there's
have
a specific meaning to it.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, it's lovely. I'm amazed.
Who would have thought? There's so much to know about flowers, eh?
Yeah, that's brilliant. So to summarise then, with picking wedding flowers, if your starting point would be to speak to a florist, not go to the petrol station on the morning of the wedding, probably.
I would say it was safer not to. But
Safer not to.
Yeah.
And then so you find a florist that you want to talk to that can meet your needs. Discuss budget, discuss the colour schemes.
Understand what you're trying to create is what I would say.
Brilliant. Understand what you're trying to create. And then if you've got a vision, great, go with it. If you haven't, just talk about it.
Yeah,
and
anything's
open that dialogue.
possible. Anything is possible, and being creative and the advice we can give you to like reuse items. So like I say, something on a registrar table, use that on your top table as well. You can use table stands, which are on trend now, and use those down the aisle. So you sort of get an extra value for money. So sometimes to go bigger, you get better value.
Yes.
Brilliant.
And we do like things big.
We do, yes. Bigger the better.
Absolutely.
Bolder.
Size is important.
Yes.
Don't care what anybody says, but it is.
We are talking about flowers, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.